So there are a few points I would like to make about the video. I also have a link on the read page to a wonderful article from Discover magazine detailing the history of these procedures and the unbelievable effects it has on the body. First, I'd like to point out how amazing the human body is. The one lady goes from up to 8 shots of insulin a day to cured in a matter of days. Those with sleep apnea are cured in days. Though not discussed in this video, hypertension and triglyceride numbers begin to improve in days. All this occurs while the individual is still obese. The fat isn't gone in days. If being fat was the cause of these symptoms, as we are led to believe by the medical industry, why do they disappear in days even though the fat is still abundantly present? My question is, why can't obesity also be a symptom of the same thing that causes the diabetes and the sleep apnea and the hypertension and all the other symptoms grouped under metabolic syndrome? It seems logical that this is the case. Now, while I am on how quickly the body heals itself, I'd like to share an observation about The Biggest Loser television show. I'm not a huge fan because I don't think it addresses the real cause of obesity, and the success of these people is achieved under unreal circumstances. I do think, however, that it did provide a wonderful insight to how resilient the body is. Some of these people have been inactive for years. When they show up, they have a hard time doing the simplest physical task. Within weeks, these people are performing some really impressive workouts. In months, they could probably hang with 90% of the people out there. They are also physically fit long before they have lost all their weight. People think that they have to lose all the weight before they feel good, but that is absolutely not the case. You get healthy and physically fit long before all the weight is gone. Same is true with the gastric bypass surgery. Get on the path, and within a week, you will be feeling better. In a couple of weeks, you could be feeling like a new you. Just keep that feeling going and don't look back. And don't let a bad day or a stumble knock you off the path. Everyone has a misstep here or there. The trick is not to turn it into a missed mile. Bad step, get back on it. Okay, now let's get back to that video. It seems pretty clear from Dr. Rubio's research that something is definitely amiss with the duodenum. The medical field acknowledges that the thyroid can malfunction and lead to weight gain. Why is that the only part of the body that can malfunction and lead to weight gain? This is one of the most complicated processes the body performs, and yet only the thyroid has been singled out as the only part of the body that can cause weight gain? It's either the thyroid or it's got to be that you are weak-willed and lazy. And why was this procedure written about in 1984 and completely ignored? I have my reasons, but I want to keep this program positive, so I will end my minor rant with that question. One of the reasons I do believe that this has not been talked about much is because so many things occur after gastric bypass surgery and is still poorly understood, or at least hasn't presented itself into an answer that would be, lucrative. It turns out many things change in the body after this procedure has been performed. The problem is, what change led to these marvelous happenings? My answer for the time being is, who cares which one it is? Let's try to duplicate as many of the changes that have been found as we possibly can. It's probably a multiple of them. Once again, this leads to a problem for the medical field. There's no pill or 2 pills that can be prescribed. There are a few things that your doctor can prescribe to help, but there is no single pill that can achieve this. Now, probably the most interesting change is in the gut microbiome. This is an amazing subject, and the microbiome can be made up of between 5 to 1,000 species of bacteria. The numbers here can be staggering. You actually have more than 10 times more bacterial cells in you than you have human cells. There's approximately 3 to 5 pounds of bacteria in your body. What's more is that the bacteria can have profound influences on what you want to eat, depending on the makeup of your microbiome. Their survival depends upon it. I am going to end the introduction on the bacteria here. There is a whole section of the website devoted to this subject. It is probably the most important aspect of this program. And think about this. Give a sample of your gut bacteria to scientists at the University of Florida Center for Biotechnical Research, and they'll predict your obesity or leanness with 90% accuracy. That is basically saying that if your microbiome is of a certain profile, you have a 10% chance of being thin. How is it that everything you do is not geared towards getting that microbiome correct? This program is all about getting that microbiome correct. It has a major impact not just on your weight, but on almost every aspect of your health. How can that be, you may ask? Well, if you think about it, your digestive system is like the foundation of your health. And like the foundation of a building, if it is in disrepair, it can have catastrophic effects throughout the whole structure. A bad foundation on a building can crack floors and ceilings and walls, jam doors and windows, bust water and sewage pipes. It will eventually destroy the building if not fixed. That is exactly what your digestive system is to your health. It has got to be fixed. And let me promise you this, I know you are here for weight loss. That is why I started down this path myself. But you are going to be amazed at how much healthier you are and the confidence that will give you. Now, another area of the program I'd like to introduce you to revolves around this statement. When you eat, your food may be as important, if not more important, than what you eat. Now, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, it is anything but crazy. And it was made by Dr. Panda of the Salk Institute. Once again, this is very serious science. Much of what you know about eating and weight loss is being discredited. It will serve you well if you can throw out all the malarkey you have read or heard about over the past 30 to 40 years and start anew. You must realize that the information you have been taught over the last decades has probably contributed greatly to the rise in obesity in this country. I know you must think I am crazy, but I'm not. And once again, I would not make these statements if I did not have strong evidence to back them up. There is an article in the New England Journal of Medicine, and there is no higher authority than this in the medical field. And it states this exactly. This article is called Myths, Presumptions, and Facts About Obesity. And yes, there is a link in the reading section to the entire article. What I want to share with you real quickly, however, are two quotes from leading obesity researchers taken from a New York Times article titled Myths of Weight Loss Are Plentiful, researchers say, and it's discussing the New England Journal Medicine article. And first is this beauty. In my view, said Dr. Jeffrey Friedman, a Rockefeller University obesity researcher, there is more misinformation pretending to be fact in this field than in any other I can think of. And then there's this wonderful observation. I feel like cheering, said Madeline Fernstrom, founding director of the University of Pittsburgh Weight Management Center. When it comes to obesity beliefs, she said, we are spinning out of control. I mean, I applaud these statements, but I do have to wonder why these myths and misinformation have been around and not challenged for decades. What's more, we are still living these lies. There is hardly a day that goes by where you cannot hear or read many of these same myths being regurgitated over and over. I can only say to you, you should read and listen to everything that is told to you with a jaundiced ear and eye, including this site. I implore you to listen to and read the material on this site and make your own judgment. I think you will journey down this path, but it is important that you understand and make that decision yourself to follow this path. You need to do it because you believe it is the truth. Now, I've gone on a little longer than I wanted, but these are important considerations for you, and a lot of this information is going to surprise you. In fact, I'm going to let that be the lead in to my next video. This is a tremendous video. This is a TED Talk titled Why Fasting Bolsters Brain Power, given by Dr. Mark Mattson. Now, Dr. Mattson is chief of the Laboratory of Neurosciences at the National Institute on Aging Intramural Research Program. He's also a professor of neuroscience at Johns Hopkins University. This is one of the leading anti-aging experts in the world. What I love about this is that it's not about weight loss. This is not weight loss research. This is brain research. A lot of this is about preventing Alzheimer's and other dementia, retarding the progress of arthritis and other elements of aging. It just so happens that it is also extremely beneficial for weight loss and diabetes prevention. So enjoy the video.